Now they've, of course, gone Severny, trying to get away from these teams around Roshawk and Watertown, for instance, Victim Rise, and yet they now find themselves all the way back here like nothing's changed.
Birdmate's going to get across the bridge as well. Rejoin the rest of the team on a bit of a scouting mission, perhaps. We'll see where he ends up. Chibirit's keeping an eye on that, so is Kamal's. Victim Rise getting awfully close to Astra here. This could be a little rough for both teams. Probably not the rotation Astra wanted to make.
Astra probably have to be a bit aggressive here as well and realize, like, we're now however many games into PCS1 APAC. They've got to look at Victim Rise and say, well, this is the fourth last team on the standings.
Sure.
We need to be sort of taking them when we get the opportunity. Like, they shouldn't be gatekeeping us here. As we look at the map all the way up north, we should be just plowing through them. And now Lynxy takes some shots. Niku's as well onto Kamal's. They get the knockdown. And this can actually sort of snowball if Victim Rise try to stick around, maybe try and get this revive. If Astra are quick enough, they could capitalize. But that seems like that was a very, very long-range knockdown. Basil just moves away from Gearbox as they come in and take the double reds. Cerberus will just take the trees near the yellows.
Oh, that's interesting driving for Gearbox. Cerberus got themselves a knock. Rain also getting knocked down here. B2 under a bit of pressure as Daytrade are quite close by. He's given some opportunities. Rain helping out, but it doesn't look like it's going to go too well here for Carnage. Most of the frags are going the way of Daytrade. Ram involved in this mix as well. It's just madness down here towards the southern part of the map.
This is so strange to see this early on, 10 minutes in, and you've got like three teams all around here. Daytrade, Ram, Carnage, who were pretty much in the middle of it. Unfortunately for them, Nordra eliminates Monty. It's so strange to see this fighting early on. By the way, Jordan, I don't know if you noticed, but two members of Astra were eliminated in the kill feed as well. While this was happening, Chibirit from Victim Rise found the double kill. Astra failing their push onto Victim Rise, down to just, I think, Zoid and Extreme.
Yeah, I think it's
for the remainder of this game.
Yeah, it's a bit weird. I didn't expect that fight to actually really eventuate. I mean, Victim Rise have taken a long time now to rotate into the circle because they were essentially gatekeeping Astra. So they're going to come into just the north of Pachinki right about now, but it means that they don't have a good center circle position for when this circle does probably move a little bit more towards Q Confirm right now, or Mo'ogi or something like that. So, I don't know, they've kind of shot Astra in the foot, but they might have shot themselves in the foot a little bit here as well.
Yeah, I don't understand it. There was no reason for them to be camping that bridge. We'll see how the rest of Erenkill plays out. Flash just going to go prone. Of course, Daytrade were amongst this. Puchil's a bit further back, not really up close. Neither is Venotica, who's just doing doughies on the bike. Going to swing back around potentially just to this compound south and opposite side of the road to Ram United. 2 kills for them. Nordra just continuing to sort of rally up these damage numbers and kills. He's been the MVP tonight. If we're just thinking about sort of individual plays, Niku's finds a kill onto Tonke. So it's actually Niku's and Zoid, mate, not Extreme. Right. Flash has just been pushed on by God Meow and the rest of Ram. I don't think they were expecting Ram to push over that little ridge.
Ram's kind of fragging out at the moment, Xenox. They're into triple figures as well. So the second team to join Q confirmed there. And if their day continues the way it's been going so far, Ram might be doing something a little bit interesting going into day 4.
$15 seconds till phase number 3. Definitely don't think we're going to get a Sosnovka Island sort of circle here, Jordan. I know it's not the water circle setting, but typically phase 3 kind of tries to do the job as best as possible. And it's going to go right onto those cliffs, though, which then entail, I think it's going to go even further north beyond that. So, like, Niku's and Zoidmate's current position's probably going to get fed phase 4, which sounds great at first sight, Jordan, but then you think our team's going to just try and take that position later.
Yeah, not when you're just a 2-man. You probably want to be playing the edge a little bit more so there. Although, maybe they can just chill, fly under the radar a little bit. Unlike Divine at the moment, Ram are going to run right on top of them. Namsi, oh, that's not the time you want to be getting into the vehicle. God Meow has knocked Levi's. Some shots coming back through from Turtle, which is causing some chaos amongst the ranks for Buriram. I think he trades back onto God Meow. It hasn't worked as perfectly as Buriram would have liked it to have.
Buriram have been in and amongst that so far tonight as a whole. Now, especially here on Erenkel. Eagle Sentinel shooter will take out Smell and Cerberus's up and down night. Average night, to be fair. Not having their star player continues the trend here on Erenkel. Not really going to change. And Edie should be able to be brought back up. Never mind, at the last second, Nora's going to be knocked down by Nikki. And Canaxi is the last one standing for Buriram United from what was potentially a good start. Now is disaster for the team in second place.
Yeah, just goes to show that you've got to take those chances when they're presented. Divine, when they have two players jumping into that Dacia, not moving, Buriram only get the one knock. If they get both, it's a totally different scenario. Buriram runs away with things. Subang is burning alive right now, and he's got Fury players headed in his direction, so I'm not sure that he'll be lasting too much longer. The grenade goes flying through. It's a bit too deep. But Fury certainly know where Subang is.
Yeah, so they've got more than an idea. Although, I'll take that back considering why Kikamuka was looking in the wrong direction. They got an idea, I guess, as to where he was, but not the exact location, Jordan.
They knew roughly where he was. And that's enough in a situation like that. As long as your spacing is good and your trading is good, which it was for Fury, they're able to deal with Subang. Basil, nowhere to be seen. He's sitting on the coast right now, having a bit of a picnic.
I wouldn't mind having a picnic on the coast right now with the way that 2020's gone so far. There goes Buriram United, though, and to, I guess, the joy of everyone who is supporting Q Confirm, whether they're just a fan of the team or the Pick'ems. Of course, the team that had brought the gap down, Jordan, to 29 points. You know, that's a very small margin with 7 games to go. Q Confirm have kind of just come to a slow standstill. They're playing so passive. We don't see them really ever make these aggressive plays. They don't breach if they don't have to. They don't move. They don't take fights if they don't have to. They're very controlled with their approach, and then they just get fed like that for phase 4 because we kind of knew where the circle was going to go.
Yeah, I mean, it had to move away from the water, so there wasn't really anywhere else for it to go. They know that MSC is behind them. There's been a fair few shots coming out from the MSC squad, so Q Confirm will have an idea. I don't know. I mean, Q Confirm, yes, they're in a good spot, but they have a lot of teams around them. So they are going to have to frag pretty hard this game. And so far today, Xanox, quite frankly, they haven't really been fragging hard. Basil's going to go for a little bit of a fall.
Hina just finished his picnic, though. That it doesn't have to wait like an hour before he can go swimming.
Not sure how Basil's going to get out of this one. So
I guess he could just go away. Rock pooling, make his way up.
Yeah, but it's already moving. So even once he gets up the cliff, if he gets up the cliff, he's got a long way to run. Right through Bahamut.
This Victim Rise, you sort of said they kind of shot themselves in the foot for trying to take out Astra coming in from Pachinki. This sort of road here has a few things that they can kind of hide behind. You see the sewer being used. So they're going to be inside of this circle. They can push up. They've got this little ridge that'll keep them safe from Pachinki Hill. Although, as they push closer and closer towards Golden Cat, that might not be a team that they want to take too lightly. Zoid, mate, does spot them, and I'm sure more than anything, he does want to find a knockdown or two on the Victim Rise.
Trying to put the damage in. In the meanwhile, Fury's getting into an engagement with Eagle Sentinel Shooter, so it's Oceania against Indonesia in 2 separate skirmishes.
Oh, is it going to roll down?
Not quite far enough. We'll do a bit of damage to the vehicle, though. Infos is going to try and hunker down behind this smoke, but the grenades are certainly headed in his direction. This one looks good. Oh, he'll survive for now, but he's certainly in the wars.
He's in the trenches. I'm not sure if... I'm actually surprised that Darcy is even still up, to be honest, because I'm pretty certain that second nade kind of took most of the brunt of the damage to that Darcy at Tanoi. Putting pressure onto Samoy. Another nade towards Genforce, and Golden Cat are using up a lot of utility here for this I don't even want to really call it a fight, really. They're just throwing nades at Victim Rise. That's all that's really happening. They know that they're there, but there's no reason to push over as we head over towards Fury and Eagle Sentinel shot. Whoa!
Yeah. Where? Who?
Venonica's just killed 4 people. I didn't even see. We didn't even really see it.
There's another one.
Down onto inside as well. He looks for 5. Although Waiki Kamukau gets the knockdown onto Veronica, who has just gone on a bit of a killing spree.
That's actually kind of bailed Fury out of trouble. They were trying to deal with trying to deal with Eagle Sentinel Shooter. It was 4-on-4. And Daytrade, the 2 players that are just hiding behind, have bailed Fury out of a pretty rough engagement. And now cleared out that entire angle because Daytrade's fallen as well. Fury are cheering. They do still have to deal with Bahamut. The IC in front of them as well. So it's not going to be a particularly fun rotation if this circle does shift away from Fury, which we're going to see in a second, and it will.
Oh, my days.
Right on top of Q Confirm. Couldn't have asked for a better circle here.
It's probably, like, to be fair, they haven't actually had a lot of circle luck tonight. I mean, I think in a couple of the Miramar games, Jordan, we at times mentioned them, like the one where Fury had to sort of push in, the game that they actually won, Fury. They themselves have had a lot of circles go against QC. In this game, on Erangel, now they get a bit of luck going their way. So we'll see if that is something that's going to pay dividends. Of course, still a lot of work to do. They're not going to be able to find a lot of kills from that position just yet, but maybe later on, as teams come closer to that Pachinki Hill. In saying that, this sort of position, other teams can see them. If they want to shoot at Jowman, for instance, they can. He's open. Not a lot of cover up here. Phase 5, though, and it is a good circle to still have. They certainly are not complaining. Maximus is gone, and so is Golden Cat, who have dropped all the way down to 6. I think they've only picked up, like, 1 point so far tonight or something. They've maybe been the worst performing team of the night so far.
They have picked up 4 points so far tonight, which is not much better than Ox, but yeah, it's been rough for Golden Cat, and they've gone, as you say, all the way down to 6th. Bahamut. I've lost Shinryuji.
Where's Juicy going?
Well, Fury are just going to try and send it somewhere. I don't know this is going to work. It's not an ideal rotation, obviously having to go through a lot of teams. And yeah, I mean, what could they really do, to be fair? They didn't have any positioning. Dukes is having to hide behind this barrel. And he'll be lucky to survive, lucky to get too much further. I think this might be the first rough game for Fury tonight.
I think it's just a rough game as well for all of the Oceanic teams, really, and even for Bahamut Gaming. Bahamut and the Oceanic teams sort of leaving all their goodwill over at Miramar. This is what I mentioned, though, Jordan. The contrast between the 2 maps, it's night and day for some teams.
That's a nice spray. It was JN that got the kill. Yeah, I think it's just a lot of teams that are being forced out of their position by a bit of a hardship. Let's be real, for Fury, for Daytrade there. Like, all these teams that were down on the southern side of the map just don't have anywhere to go because there is nowhere to play from in that field when the circle is on top of the mountain. If there's teams on the mountain, this field, you just can't play from it.
Yeah. Q Confirm have had an amazing circle feed for this game. These open fields, nowhere to really hide. They've got such a high vantage point from that Pachinki Hill. Zoidbait goes up in flames. Victim Rise still have got all 4 players alive. I hate to say it, Jordan, but you kind of maybe were wrong in this case, thinking that they shot themselves in the foot. Yeah. In saying that, they've been very fortunate that these circles have continued in a more northern direction. If it had gone south in any way, then they, of course, would have had to get moving, and it would have been a bit more difficult. Only 2 kills for Q Confirmed, and they are going to have to start to sort of change their position here. Gearbox are the ones that do get the Phase 6 feed. The MC is going to be eliminated by Beadora of Gearbox. PUBG Esports and MSC Theraton also getting the sort of the worst of this circle. They are in well over their heads here. The blue so close to them. 20 seconds time. MSC have also got Q Confirm right in front of them.
Could end up being Gearbox and Q Confirm quite late in this game again. We did see that on Miramar once, and it went to Gearbox, incidentally. A lot of teams that Q Confirm do have to deal with, and Gearbox quite happy to just chill. So is Turtle for Divine, but he does actually have to move. Same for Maogi. They're going to get themselves into the Dacias and start their rotate early. They don't really have too many options, to be fair. I'm not sure where they really want to go here. because Q Confirm can pretty much see everything. They're just going to have to park up those Darcias, use them as a bit of hard cover, and hope that Q Confirm gets third-partied a little bit here by MSC. They're on the move. They've taken this opportunity. They heard the shots from Q Confirm, and they decide now is the best chance that they're going to get. But Q Confirm are very well set up for this, Xenox. They are all watching the backside. They knew exactly where MSC was.
This could be the game that really sets them up to really close out this top spot. It's already a gap that is now going to increase against Buriram United. And if they take out MSC as well, it will further increase it against this team in blue. As they now push over the top of this ridge line, that's just going to be slaughter, annihilation against MSC Theraton from Svit, Jowman, and Gems. QC, though, are getting pushed up from PUBG Esports. This is ambitious. Top 1-7, though, just gets sat down by the barrel of Gems, and all of a sudden now, teams are basically feeding into Q Confirm and making this sort of a bit of an easier trip for them down to that first place finish in 6 games' time when, of course, everything will be over. Gakon, headshot onto Jayas, sits him down, that's something. But they've only got 2 players standing. 3 up for still Q Confirm. They make it 2 standing, though, for them, Gems and Jowman.
Well, Gearbox and VTR are going to be hoping that Maogi can get a fair bit done here against Q Confirm. If they can finish one more player off, it puts Gearbox and VTR in a much better position, 2-on-4. Q Confirm are being pushed by the zone at the moment. I think Jayas might just survive if he can crawl in. Looks like he might drop. He's very low on HP right now, but Jowman's running over. He's managed to get it. One tick is what it would have taken there for Jayas to fall, but Q Confirm should get all 3 players up. Gearbox are the ones that have got the circle feed, though. They are in a good position here. They've got that Defilade to play with in front of them. They've cleared the southern side. They know there's no one there. They know where Q Confirm is. They know where VTR is. And they've spotted Chibirit as well. Chin just tapping away with the SLR, and that's some good shots. There goes 1 for VTR, but I dare say that'll be rezzed.
Going to be a lot of people in chat who are happy with the way that this game has transpired for Q Confirm. They're not only getting now into the top 4, but they've picked up kills along the way. I mean, yeah, there was a bit of circle feed, but still, Gakon's surely going to go down here to Gems as well. Gems has just been on a mission this game.
Boom.
That's one way to get the elimination. QC get another one. Jowman gets Jet. Eliminates PUBG Esports. They're into the top 3 with still 3 players alive. Victim Rise still sitting up to the north and Gearbox on the other side. Gearbox kind of on a lower elevation here, but Q Confirm are now increasing this gap even more, Jordan. When teams were starting to put pressure on them, when they were closing that gap, 29 points at one point, when it used to be something like 50 at once, now it's just going to be increased once again. So they've answered the call here. They've been playing very well.
It was 32 going into this game, and now it's 41. And it might well end up being even more than that if Q Confirm can pull off something pretty special here. It will be tough for them because they'll have to go through VTR and then also deal with Gearbox, who have set up pretty nicely. But see where this next circle shift goes. If it continues to favor Q Confirm, very much possible, particularly if Gearbox has to cross the road, VTR, they have to come out of this valley. I think a lot of it comes down to where Phase 8 ends up.
Just think sort of what's on the line here. If QC win this game, I think they just about win PCS1 APAC. The margin will be closer to 60 than it would 40, with then 6 games to go. That's going to be very difficult for Buriram, Cerberus, Fury, MSC to sort of catch up. They would need multiple 0-point games from Q Confirm. If they go out right now, though, then the gap's still only like 41 with 6 games to go. That's not horrible. But
to be fair, we've seen a few 0-point games today. Well, not 0 point, but rough games for Q Confirm. So
we have.
It's not impossible. But this is stretching the truth a little bit when we say, oh, well, it's kind of possible. I mean, technically, yes, it is. Jayas haven't been knocked by Seymour, so that's at least his 2nd knock now. There goes Gems. Not much else that Q Confirm can do, though. They kind of just have to send it. They've got smokes available at least. They've got to get to one of these trees. still have to move further from here.
Well, what they really need more than anything is Victim Rise and Gearbox fighting each other and getting so caught up in that fight that then they can kind of sneak forward. But it seems like both teams are very much hell-bent on taking out Confirm towards the end of this game, and the pressure's mounting from sort of both sides, Gearbox and Victim Rise. Jowman's been immense again tonight. Confirm, when things are going slow, they just find that extra gear, though unfortunately they just have too many angles to cover. Jowman eliminated by Kamels and Genfos. JS will be next in line. It's just a moment in time. So QC will end up on 144 points, Jordan. It didn't get any bigger than that. Very well could have. You know, had they been able to go and get a couple of team wipes, like maybe 4 to 6 kills plus the win, we could have been looking at like a 60-point gap, but it's still only 41 points with 6 games to go. Gearbox, Victim Rise, both teams would be happy to find a win here, but it's not going to increase the chances of, say, top place. Regardless, though, the leaderboard is so close that whoever wins this game may just skyrocket into like the top 6, for instance.
That's
Gearbox
a massive made.
12 points behind the top 5 right now. You finish off Victim Rise, get the win, and they're into the top 5 potentially. Chibberit stuck at the tree, half health. Camels, the flash not going to connect. Headshot, though, will finish off JN, who was already knocked down by Genfos. So they've got the numbers now, Victim Rise, 4 versus 3.
I like the idea from JN, but he really needed to survive. If you're going to be that solo anchor, you cannot afford to be dropping. This kind of just pushes Gearbox back into a corner, and these 3 players are trying to dance around the smoke. They're going to have to do something special to beat Victim Rise now, who are actually having a really good day. Let's be honest, Xenox. They've got 8 kills here. They had a good game 1 as well. And there's another knock onto YA. It's all coming up for VTR at the moment.
Chin found one back onto Camels, but Genfos immediately gets Beardora. Running out of players, running out of time. It'll be a 7-kill second place for Gearbox, but it will then, of course, now be an 11-kill win for Victim Rise from Indonesia. They will shoot up the standings after that 21-point performance. It all started towards Watertown, Jordan, where they got 2 members of Astra. From then onwards, they moved down into Pachinki, got a few circle feeds going up north, capitalized from their position. More than anything, they actually outplayed Golden Cat really, really well early on, if you recall. From then onwards, they picked up kills, they picked up placement points, and they picked up the win.
It's been a pretty nutty day, to be honest, from VTR. I mean, it's been 2 nutty games. They've had a 12-kill win, and now they've had an 11-kill win there as well, Xenox. They did have a 12th and 13th in the middle, so hasn't been, like, all perfect for VTR, but they've gone from last place to 9th place in one day. It's insane, the rise that they have had, and I guess that's true to their name, Victim Rise. Top damage dealers for that game, no big surprise. A Victim Rise player in there, a couple of Q-confirmed players as well. Seems like we have restored the equilibrium with Q-confirm taking quite a number of the points out of that one.
Yeah, 100% Q-confirm. They have basically their best performance for the night, which of course now extends that lead against Buriram United. You mentioned it, Victim Rise going from last starting today, now into 9th position. Astra fall out of the top 8, down to 10th, and really, the teams that are below Q-confirm, the Burirams, the Cerberuses, the Furies, the MSCs, don't gain anything from this match. In fact, they lose the gap that they had shrunk before.
It's a net
on
negative.
Q-confirmed.
Yeah, net negative as opposed to a net positive for them. So, yeah, a bit of a rough one for Buriram, Cerberus, and Fury. MSC did get a little bit done, so they're keeping themselves in the top 5 fairly comfortably, especially considering what's been going on today for Golden Cat. So, yeah, I mean, it's still sort of shaping up pretty interestingly. I think you go all the way down to Gearbox, and you think anyone could be taking pretty decent placement there. Bahamut and below, I'm probably not seeing it happening, short of something similar to what Victim Rise has been able to do today. But, yeah, it's just another one in the back pocket for Q-confirm that starts to solidify their win.
Yeah, 2 wins now today for Victim Rise, though. But if you look at the games sort of in between that, a 12th and a 13th. So it's kind of either win and win well, right? 12 kills in their first win and now 11 kills here in their second win. Or they kind of don't really do anything. So they lack the consistency of a team like Q-confirm. But Victim Rise have shown what they're really capable of at their best, when they're playing at their best, what they can do. There's not too many teams, Jordan, that have multiple wins in this tournament for PCS1 APAC, besides Q-confirm, Bahuma, and now Victim Rise.
I mean, it's pretty insane. It's insane, isn't it? That it's two teams in the bottom 8 that have 2 wins on the board.
Well, that's the thing. Actually, I was meant to bring it up earlier, but like in the PCS Charity Showdown, everyone who had a chicken dinner was in the top 8. That is not the case here for PCS1 APAC. Look how many teams have won games that are in the bottom 8. Carnage, DIC, Bahamut's got 2 of them. Gearbox, and now 2 for Victim Rise as well. Like, that is a large chunk of games that have been won by teams in the bottom 8. So I don't really know what that suggests, other than there's a bit of inconsistency in this region.
Well, I mean, that's really what it is, isn't it? At the end of the day, the name of the game with PUBG is consistency. Being able to consistently place and consistently frag. Everyone, at some point in their career, is going to get a circle feed. And 9 times out of 10, when the teams are at this level, you're going to be able to see them capitalize on that and, you know, get the winner on the board. But you can't just look at the wins. You can't just say, okay, well, that is the be-all, end-all. It has to be the consistent points across the board. And that's why I always talk about, like, how many points are teams getting on average per game? How many kills are teams getting on average per game? Because I think that's a more relevant statistic than just looking at who's got the most wins.
Yeah, it's you can't just look at it. It doesn't really matter in the sense of, you know, determining, as you said, who the best teams are, right? Look at the kills here on your screen. This is over the course of the first 3 days so far. Jowman still leading the way. Nordra, though, is certainly caught up. He definitely wouldn't have been in the top 5 coming into tonight. Now he has a chance to, by the end of the night, although we've only got 1 game to remain, could take top spot away from Jowman, who has been the star man throughout all the PCS1 APAC, not just for QC, but probably this entire lobby. I'd say he's been the best player until now. Nordra's come out of nowhere and said, hey, I could give him a run for that title.
Yeah, but I mean, I guess I can kind of pick up what you're putting down right now, but it's similar to that win discussion where Nordra's had one phenomenal game where he picked up like 1,000+ damage in that game. So you take that away and he's not even in the top 5 now. Obviously, it still is a factor, but it is just one game out of a great many. And I'm more impressed by seeing 3 Q confirmed players in the top 5 than I am by seeing Nordra as number 1 at the moment. I think that is just going to show that Q confirm is the strongest team at the moment in the competition. Obviously easy to say when they're 40 points above the rest of the teams, but look, Nordra's doing great for his team, obviously, but I think it's Q confirmed right now that are just so impressive. You think about how much damage those 3 are putting together. Like, it's just running away with things so obscenely.
I mean, to be fair, we've also still got 6 games remaining. So if Nordra can continue this sort of level over the next 6 games, I would give it to him, right? It's if, of course, that can happen. Yeah, obviously, he's caught up to Jalman in a very quick manner because of that. Typically, that one game where he picked up like 8 kills and 1,000 damage, sure. But that doesn't sort of, I guess, take away from that game, right? Just because it didn't happen in a spread out manner. So, potato, I guess, depending on how you want to look at it in terms of who's been, I guess, the best player here for PCS1 APAC so far. And I got to say, at the end of the day, it's a team game. So you do probably still give it to Jalman and the way that Q Confirm have been playing. They've been the best team for PCS1 APAC. They're probably the best team in the region right now. I think from what I've seen, a lot of the players are sort of even saying that, like, hey, these guys are really, really good. You know, and the way that Q Confirm have been playing almost goes against everything else that we see from this sort of region, right? They play in a controlled manner. They don't make rushed decisions. They wait for teams to make mistakes close by to them as well. As you can see, we're pretty close to getting into our final game of the night, by the way. They just play very differently to other teams, Jordan, who sometimes, you know, make these early breaches, or they have these really weird, you know, bridge camps, or they don't really know how to breach properly, or it's just all chaotic, or they rotate differently. All these differences, Q Confirm, I would say if we were to have like an international event with like Europe, Asia, North America, Q Confirm would be able to have their play style hold up overseas.
Yeah, I agree with you. And it's not really much of a surprise considering they have been probably the most consistent competition, most consistent team, not only in this one, but in PCS Charity Showdown as well. They came second there, so they're sort of doing it back to back, and their playstyle sort of lends towards that as well. Big storylines, though, going into this final game, Xenox. I mean, both of the top Australian teams, top Oceanic teams, Fury and Astra, started today well. They've had a bit of a dip going into the first game of Erangel, and I'm sure they'll want to end the day where they started, so that's something that I'm going to be keeping an eye on. Q confirm, of course, whether or not they can bridge that gap or extend that gap even further. They've had 2 third places to date. They've had some bad games as well, but 2 third places, get another one on the board, and they're pretty good. So, a few big names to sort of keep an eye on going into this last game of tonight, and the final game of Erangel for tonight as well, of course.
So 5 games left after this, of course, which will be on Saturday. QC can basically see the finish line from here. If they get a donut this game, though, it just leaves the door ajar. On the flip, if QC go on and like win this game, Jordan, or get anywhere in the, I guess, realms of like 15 to 20 points and the teams below them get nothing, I'd be prepared to call it, even with 5 games to go.
Can Victim Rise be the first team to get 3 wins in a single night? Q Confirm got 2 on day 1. Maybe Victim Rise can get a 3rd here and cause some pretty interesting discussions, I'm sure, to arise.
Streaking Circle to close out the night. If this were Miramar, I'd say there's a chance that we could see the islands out to the east. Of course, there are no islands out to the east besides Spawn Island, which is more north than east. Golden Cat, though, hasn't been a good night for them, Jordan, and they are a team I had pegged to keep QC honest and be hot on their heels, and they have definitely done everything but that.
I do just want to touch on them again. When they've had the circle feed, they have been able to convert it into pretty good games. And once again, they have a pretty decent circle here. They're going to be the team that has to rotate the least. Now, admittedly, we have in the past also said that the first circle tends not to matter all that much. But at least it's a good feeling knowing that you don't have to go from one side of the map to the other.
Yeah, that's always going to play to the happy part of your mind. Not having to worry about dying on rotation or being caught out if you're unlucky sometimes. Saying that, phase 1 sort of circle can be deceiving if it is on top of you. It's not always the best.
Yeah.
And just because you loot there doesn't necessarily mean you actually play many games there. In terms of positioning and where to sort of go, it may not always be well known. Like, for instance, Erangel, the one place I hope you'd know where everything is around Gakka Fields, because I'd say that's where like the majority of circles go, is around Gakka Fields. You don't really see much mansion play, Jordan. I don't know about you. I personally don't.
Nope, very rarely.
So, of course, Fury looting around mansion and Povka. A lot of circles, though, still. I mean, who knows? Maybe we go Mill to Power. As Poliana Fields as well could be played. If it does, that's not always fun because really it comes down to who gets the Wizzy Tower in the fields.
I mean, it can literally go anywhere, can't it, really, at this point? Obviously, it's not going to go out over the water in the long term. Cerberus Esports have struggled to an extent today. They turned things around a little bit there in game number 4 of tonight. Only 4 kills for them, but it's still something at least on the board, some points. It's been a rough one for them. 15 points today. And it's by far their worst
I think they've done all right. I think they've done all right considering they haven't got their best player. Who really, up until now, match 5, I believe Haisaki was still top 3 for kills. Like, he's missing like 3-4 games. Well, he's missing all 4 games, I should say. But it took 3-4 games roughly for him to actually be overtaken. Like, the dude had been fragging out kills and damage wise. You lose your best player, and I still think then Smell has come in and done an okay job, but as a team, they've just done enough to kind of keep themselves close to QC. It's not their fault necessarily that Q Confirm were able to have a massive game in match 4 to widen that gap, because prior to that match, Jordan, they had the exact same amount of points as QC, and I think if Haisaki does come back on Saturday, they would have taken that tonight. They would have said, all right, let's just try and match them for tonight, and then try and overtake them on Saturday.
Yeah, potentially. God, Meow struggling a little bit on the rotation. Booraram is one of the teams that I was getting a little bit excited about, seeing as how they performed in game 1 and 2, and they didn't do too much in that final game, or in that 4th game. 26 points for tonight for them so far, though. They've been chugging along pretty nicely. Still an opportunity for this to be their best night, though they'd need a pretty solid placing here. They're sitting at about 40 points tonight, Xenox, which is not too bad at all. 26 at the moment. VTR is really like the heroes of tonight, though. Let's be real. They've got 45 points tonight. To put that into context, Q-Confirm got 64 on day 1, 53 on day 2, and so far VTR is the team that's scored the third highest amount of points in a given night, although they may end up in second. Don't necessarily expect them to overtake first. I don't see 19 points coming out of this game for VTR. That'd be a huge night if they did.
I mean, they've had a huge night regardless for VTR. They're going to be happy with how tonight's gone. Put themselves in a winning position from last to now sort of very much middle of the pack, ninth place. Like, so...
Don't mind this rotation from Golden Cat.
Whether Victim Rise get any more in this game in particular, I don't think matters too much. I just want to see whether or not they're going to be able to back it up on Saturday as a whole over the next then 5 games to be played. Art God, that's going to be a slow push out, but now gets the motorbike rolling, not too far but away from Insight. The black and white gang for Fury Australia. Bahamut, though, have continued, Jordan, to really disappoint me on Erangel. Miramar, they've been exceptionally well, but Erangel, obviously not their map at all, which is surprising. Like, to this degree, like, it's like 90% Miramar, 10% Erangel is just not good enough.
No, you can't be affording that kind of a split. It's okay, I think, to have a map that you tend to perform a bit better on, 60-40. That's fine. But you do still need to be able to pick points up on the other map as well. God Meow has gone a little bit too far into the water, but apparently it's an aqua bike, so don't worry about it, ladies and gentlemen. We've got some future tech going on here. So Buriram will continue their rotation unscathed.
I mean, I'm pretty sure they actually have that current tech, don't they? I'm pretty sure there's like vehicles that when they go in the water, the tires go away, and then they've got like little propellers.
Yeah. That's pretty much what it was. Although, to be fair, he was driving along the bottom of the... Like, that wouldn't work in real life because the sand down there, I don't think you're going to get too much traction on it.
No.
But anyway, getting a little bit too far in depth into that analysis.
It'd probably be like the worst, like, getting stuck in a bog you'd ever be. It's like,
yeah, exactly.
Bottom of the ocean. 45 seconds till phase 2. No deaths so far within the first 8.5 minutes, which might be a first for tonight because we've had a couple... over the course of the Miramar games, the Erangel, even the last game, a couple of early deaths towards the end of phase 1. I love the cinematic drive-by here of Matey, Venotica.
Beautiful.
All going to plan.
That's where you like...
Oh,
not quite.
Oh, no, not like this.
No.
Did he just try and do a wheelie and then...
He ran into Matey. I'd love to see a replay of that one. Here comes the blue. So that's going to cost a little bit for day trade, some meds, and quite a bit of time as well. See where this circle shift goes. Oh, it's right over the top of Yaz, which is not something you see every day. Maogi will be happy for that kind of a circle to be seen. I liked what Q-Confirm was going to do, by the way. I was watching them on the map, on PCS_map, and you can see Svit at the moment is up to the north. It gives you an indication of where they had their players prior to this circle popping. And essentially what they did was they had players to the north and the south of that bridge over Rozok, so that if they had to go up to the north and rotate around, they could do that without too much of a problem. They've done exactly that. Svit's going to be the scout at the moment, and Q-Confirm will be following behind him. And just another indication of this smart gameplay that we've been tending to see from Q-Confirm. Hedging their bets, and they've done a pretty good job. They should be able to rotate in quite comfortably.
They certainly don't need much to go their way, but every little thing will help. When you're in that position with this game, and of course 5 more still to be played, even with a gap like that, I personally wouldn't feel safe. I'd still be feeling like every game, as if it's our last, as if it's, it's so important. Everything that can go right needs to go right to win a PUBG tournament.
Well, this is going about right for Fury at the moment. They've run into Bahamut, who, as you've mentioned, is one of the teams that definitely struggles a lot on Erangel. And if Fury is aware of that, they may be quite eager to take an engagement here. You can see them on the minimap spreading out a little bit. They will need to be a bit aware that Buriram is coming down from the top of prison as well, though. So I'm not sure that Fury will be biting off a little bit more than they can afford to chew here.
Muka lands one shot. There's a nice little drive-by from my boy. Got a bit of air on that giant. My boy, though, ditches
like
the bike.
Oh, this is not where you want to be. God Meow right on top of him, and Fury already firing shots into Bahamut. My boy will be knocked by Jukesy, but that could well be finished by God Meow here, and it is. So Bahamut will lose another player, and the woes on Erangel do continue.
The wall saving the day. Shinryoji gets the revive. Ronan. So on the move for Fury. I think they smell blood in the water. So do Buriram United, though. Buriram, of course, need every points they can get. Still, a 40-point gap is not impossible. Unfortunately for Bahuma, as soon as they run out and away from Buriram, they run straight into White Kikamukau from Fury Australia, who continue to impress tonight.
Indeed, indeed. Still a lot more to do, though, for Fury in this game. 15 teams alive. Yes, they've gotten rid of Bahamut, but that's one small step on a much greater mission for Fury Australia. And they've been playing really well tonight, but they have to get out of dodge here a little bit because Buriram is quite close by. In fact, you can even see the shots coming through as Fury rotates out. Does look like they'll get out okay. More sprays coming through, but at this range, we should be all right. Question is, where do they go from here? They're headed in the direction of Cerberus, and I'm not sure they'll want to end up there. So they'll have to turn off. It's going to be, by the looks of things, a 2-2 split, as Fury do tend to like doing. But the circle shift has gone far to the north, up above Yasnaya, right on top of Q Confirm as well, if you can believe it again, Xenox.
Mm. Well, I mean, I can believe it, and actually, this is a circle that reminds me of the PUBG Global Championship. Shoot to Kill had a very similar spot up at that warehouse. I believe they actually went on to win that particular game. It's a really, really good position. This is the wheelie from Veronica. Okay, so he didn't start the wheelie prior. Oh, no. I can actually say I might blame Matey for that one, Jordan.
Yeah.
Oh, look at this. This is some Mad Max road.
Surely got to be seat swapping this.
Carnage, yeah. Chibarit, though, doesn't need a seat swap. He's got his own designated driver like he's in an Uber, sending it towards the eastern side of Yasnaya Polyana. Gakon's not going to survive much longer. Veronica puts him out of his misery. White Kikamukau got a run over onto Basil. Astra have been obliterated as well. They've just lost Linksy and Nikus. And, well, this has just been APAC at its finest. This is APAC.
Yeah,
to be fair, it's not their fault. It's the circle as well. But, you know,
definitely a good start, but... Interesting how this is going to pan out because a lot of teams setting themselves up in Yasnaya. You will not want to be crossing through there. If you're going to go past it, you're going to have to go around it. I don't know where we're going to end up here. I mean, I think a lot of teams for this game are going to be hoping for a southern shift. Seymour not going to be spending too much more time hoping because he's out of the game. MSC in a good spot. DIC as well. But this could all really come unstuck. If it shifts hard north to go on top of Q Confirm, we're going to see some more blood. Teams going up that hill, it's going to be a disaster.
This very much needs to go south for pretty much everyone besides Q Confirm. There's 15 teams right now that wanted to go south. Actually, maybe 14. Carnage wouldn't mind north either. 50 seconds time, we will find out whether or not basically Q Confirm win the game. I'll go this early, Jordan. I'm happy to look like a fool, but if it does go north, I can't see Q Confirm losing from that position.
They are certainly in a very good one. Jen Floss, good spray, and Eagle Sentinel Shooter just gets deleted. Not sure what they were really hoping for there. It wasn't going to go too well for him. I guess getting into Yasnaya that late is always going to be a rough time.
Well, 15 seconds time now until we see Phase 4. North, definitely, you'd think Q Confirm will get the win.
Yeah.
If it goes down to Yasnaya, expect chaos. If it goes out to the east, though, then, well, I guess expect chaos as well. Well, there you go.
I don't know how to feel about this one.
Hard feed for Divine. Carnage are in there. Astra are in there. Gearbox and Buriram. Obviously, Q Confirm not in the best of spots. They will have to push on to the likes of Carnage, for instance. And then literally everyone not that I mentioned who's inside of Yasnaya, like 10 teams, good luck. It's a rat race to be the last one out.
Yeah, I don't know how fun this is going to be, quite frankly, Xenox. It's like trying to get through Sydney in peak out. Believe me, that's not a good time. Yoshi Minburi, Alonix. Oh, he's lucky he didn't run into a Yoshi Minburi there, to be honest.
It almost fell at him as well.
They're all right. Don't worry about it. Thing is, though, there's not a whole lot of cover in this circle, so all of the good compounds have actually already been occupied. Carnage, Divine, Gearbox, Astra, Buriram, MSC, maybe to an extent VTR have decent positions, but everyone else that's rotating in here, Fury, Golden Cat, Day Trade, DIC, like where do you even go? You just have to try and breach a position and fight it out. There's no other option.
Well, DSC Gaming are actually rotating up north where Q Confirmed used to be. They're going to go to that compound. I think they've only got 3 alive. No, they got 4. Actually, do they have all 4 pushing up there? Because it looks like then, looking at the map, DIC are going to push straight into Q Confirm, who are going for the Revivalist fit right now.
I don't think they know Q Confirm's here, though.
Well, yeah, true. Well, I mean, we would have been the only ones to know that Q Confirm were holding up that warehouse. Everyone else was inside of NA PUBG. They do have to be, I guess, careful, cautious. We'll see how that plays out. But so many teams on the edge of the city of Yasnaya. It is packed like sardines.
Oh, no.
Q Confirm now know the Jowman's behind them. They went straight past Jowman without realizing. So they're going to be able to get this opened up surely easily. This will be an easy wipe on the DIC. Basically, they just walked in, rang the dinner bell and said, here you go, guys. You want 4 easy points? We'll give it to you.
Well, they've lost Spit, so it's not so easy for Q Confirm, but I dare say you're right. Kwan hits a good shot into Jowman. Gem's looking to trade back, but doesn't get the opportunity fully. A big spray. Kwan still surviving right now. Q Confirm won't come out of this unscathed. They've lost Spit. Now Gems is knocked as well. Carnage has heard that dinner bell, Xenox, and they're hungry as well.
Jay is still up, though, for Q Confirmed, but he's the only one up. They only got 1 kill from that exchange as well. Anquan eliminated. Now make it 3 kills. They do at least win the fight against DIC, but are they going to be able to win the war? So many other teams, and there's only 1 player alive for Q Confirmed. Back over to NA PUBG. Day Trader PUBG Esports, top 1-7. Nice little hop over the wall. Back towards Jet. Knocked Tam with a nade. Primed. Looking just for the flush for Fenotica because he doesn't have the information onto Flash, and Matey can't throw the nade inside. And for now, Day Trade are under an immense amount of pressure. They're in the worst position compared to Maoki. A lot of teams trying to group up, I believe, at the hospital or police station. I can't even recall. I haven't been here in years. Haven't actually been here, Jordan, since they changed to the new Erangel.
Well, let's see what Cerberus can do.
Juxie knocked down by 6 sacks. This is going to be rough for everyone involved, even Cerberus.
Indeed it is. Fury going to look for the breach. That's good timing from Ronan. He's got a... What?